Hi all and welcome to the Barbarian Thrower build review post patch 8. Patch 8 has been applied to my system. I'm on PC playing through Steam with a controller. I know, scary, right? So this is the Barbarian Thrower build that I've been running around with for a long time. In the description below is the person/video that gave me the inspiration to really perfect this build for the way I like to play. So with that in mind, I'm going to go through the build, the gear, yeah, I put it on Halcyon because why not, basically. I only have one druid in my party, that's Jahira. So yeah, there we go. Let's get into it. So I don't recruit Halcyon until Act 3. Once we've done all of that and you first arrive in this camp. You've done all the Act 2 to 3 stuff and you'll find yourself outside of this camp in Rivington. I then port back to camp and do a complete respec, and that's when I gear up Halcyon, or Haslin, however it's pronounced. This guy right here, the bear. I'm just going to call him the bear from now on. So, without further ado, let's get into his gear. So he's wearing the marksmanship hat. This can be purchased from Roa Moonglade in Moonrise Towers in Act 2. It gives you a +1 bonus to thrown attack rolls. He has the derivation cloak, which I don't use in the testing coming up. When you poison a foe, heal yourself for a d4 hit points. He's got the enraged. Comes from Moonrise Towers. It's you loot it from Moonrise Towers before you take on Ketheric. So you speak to Jahira at the bottom, you go up the stairs, and then that opens up all of the second floor to Moonrise Towers, and it's in there somewhere. Do an internet search, you'll find it. Enraging Heart Garb, again that's a vendor purchase. Lan Tarv, I think. Hold on, I've got a listing somewhere. Yeah, Enraging Heart Garb, yeah, Lan Tarv, again Moonrise Towers. So that's where that comes from. Then we've got the Bone Spike Boots, which is found in a chest in the passageway down in Rivington. So in Rivington, once you go and see Mattis from where Mattis is the vendor, you can then from there you go up and over the hill. Down onto the... So I'm trying to remember because I've got a leveling guide that isn't quite ready yet. Down onto the beach, and then you can, if you research the beach, go down there and have a look around, you'll find a scene with the guild and Stonelord thugs. You side with the guild, you defeat the Stonelord thugs, and then around there you'll find an entrance called the passageway. You go in there, and you disarm a trap chest, and you find the Bone Spike Boots. Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength you get from going into the House of Hope. And the easiest way to do that is to go and at Heapside Strand, which you'll see coming up in the video in the testing, there's a house on the right hand side. You go lockpick the door, you go in there. You lockpick the hatch, you go down into the hatch, and you find a document on Gortash. You read that. You can then go to the Devil's Fee, speak to Halsik, ask her about what's going on with Gortash, and then you can pay 20. I think it's a total of 23,000 gold. The 1,000 gold increments, and then a 20,000 gold, and then Halsik will get you into the House of Hope for free, and then you can steal the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength from in there. The Eversight Ring is looted from the Healing House Morgue in Act 2. Ring of Flinging comes from Aaron all the way back in Act 1 at the Druid Grove. Yeah. The Broodmother's Revenge comes from defeating Korga in the Druid Grove once you find out she's part of the Shadow Council. So yeah. And the way this build works is you drink a low-level healing potion, which means you're healed. So then you do an additional 1d6 poison damage. And then as you deal poison damage, you get healed from the derivation cloak. So that's kind of cool. The Deadshot, which you buy from Fitz the Firecracker at the Stormstorm Armory, next to the Lower City Central Wall waypoint. The Knife of the Undermountain King is purchased from the Quartermaster in the Githyanki Creche. Excuse me. And then finally the Lightning Jabber, which is looted from the Cursed Kawatoa Chief, which is down on the beach next to the... you have to go into the House of Healing Morgue, solve the puzzle about getting into the office, pass a passive perception check to pull the lever, pull another lever, and then that'll get you into a cave. You have to jump down into the cave. You get surprised by mobs. You kill those mobs, then you climb up a cracked rock, out of a crevice, and then you're right next to some a fishing shack with loads of cursed Kawatoas, which are invisible and hiding. So you defeat those, and the chief will have the Lightning Jabber. So that's all his gear. I have chosen to dress him in slash strip sandals and the elegant robe, and everything has been dyed, including his underwear, with white and scarlet dye. Alright, and then he's got some spears and the returning pike because... Oh, hold on, he's got his weapons in the wrong hand. Unequip. There you go. You've got to make sure the Lightning Jabber's in his right hand, so when he does bound weapon from the Eldritch Knight, it binds the Lightning Jabber. Like this. There you go. And if we go in there now and look at the Lightning Jabber, bop, it'll say bound weapon, so that automatically returns to his hand once he's thrown it, most of the time. Which is why we've got the returning pike as a backup, because once a Lightning Jabber's thrown, if it doesn't come back, it's easier just to start throwing the returning pike, which again should come back because it says on the thing. But again, if you lose that one, we've then got 4 spears to back up, and at that point, if you're out of throwing weapons, then, well, you might as well just reload. So that's all the gear. As for the spec itself, you can see his stats are quite enhanced. So we do a respec at level 10 for him, and we put 15 plus 2, 17 strength to start off with, 15 plus 1, 16 dex, 14 con, 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 8 charisma. Hold on, can I... Yeah, I don't think I've got any private information on this. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, okay, let's... I'm just going to black the screen out in case I dock for myself doing this. Hold on. Give me a minute, it's coming. I just want to make sure no private personal information is leaked from this. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Boop. So this is my spreadsheet. It's not ready to go into Google shit yet. I'm still double checking it, and then I will release it in a Google format and share it. But effectively, this is how I do Halcyon. So you can see here, this is how I spec him at level 10. So you've got 5 levels there, then 4 in Rogue, and then 1 in Fighter for the level 10. And then once you get to level 12, you can just take the last 2 levels of Fighter with all the spells and stuff. And then once you get to the Mirror of Loss in the House of Grief, you then choose to take Dexterity and get +2 into Dex. And then once you respec from the Mirror of Loss build back into his endgame build, you change your stats ready for the Gauntlets of Giant Strength, because at that point you don't need the Strength 17, so you just have Strength 10, and then the Gauntlets pop it up to 23 with no minuses. Still have the 16 Dexterity, which will then be 18 from the Mirror of Loss. The 17 Con, as you can see, we get +1 from the Tavern Brawler, putting it up to 18. And then we get +2 from the Enraging Heartguard, makes it a Constitution of 20. Now I choose to put Wisdom here because I never ever use the Eldritch Knight spells. But if you want to do that, you could drop down the Wisdom to 10 here and then put the Intelligence up. I do not suggest having anything lower than Wisdom 10 for saving throw purposes. But you're going to put the intelligence up, and if you wanted to, start using the spells from the Eldritch Knight. And then you take the dual wield feat at level 9 on the respec. That's the build. As for the leveling equipment, it's all here. So the reason I put transferred item is because once I get into this camp at level 10, I strip all my characters of all the equipment, I pop it all in the stash, organise it, save a game, and then I respec the characters. So all of this stuff I already have in my stash, and then I just pick up the boots as and when I get there. You can't equip the Lightning Jabber until you have the Eldritch Knight at level 12, which is why it sits in a stash or his inventory. Until that time, then you use the returning pike. And then you turn into the crit build after the Mirror of Loss. So that's that. And then upcoming is the tests, both in this build, and then the only thing I change is the level 5 Barbarian Berserker becomes the level 5 Barbarian Giant. And we'll see how the test goes. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I'm hoping it's going to be better, but we'll just have to see. So I'll edit all together. I'll record it separately. I'll edit all together, and yeah, hopefully it's a good video. Catch you on the flip side. So you've seen the gear and the build, so now we're just going to test it out. This is balanced mode. So we're going to start with a throw with our Lightning Jabber.
I shall see to it.
Let's just start combat.
And now you have one.
How's the Lightning Jabber come? Oh my days, mine just sucks. Guess we'll put up shield. Oh, it's going to cut. Alright, okay, so we're going to have to take the attack of opportunity. Yeah, whatever. Right, so we're going to enter the rage. We are now going to do an enraged throw. Excuse me. Oh, that's Frenzy Strike. Whoops. Enraged throw. Lightning Jabber. And we're going to throw it at this guy. Alright, now I've got to switch to keyboard because the damage and stuff doesn't come up on controller. Okay, so what have we got? Prone, 5 lightning damage, 29, Tavern Brawler for 6, and then 6 damage from the Tavern Brawler. Attack roll will hit the crit, +4 proficiency, +1 from the marksmanship hat, +6 from Tavern Brawler, +6 from strength equals 35. Okay, now that's the attack, that's the damage, 9. Strength modifier of +6, +5 from the rage, and +2, making it 29. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay then. Let's get back to controller. Throw. That's that one. Alright, let's have a look. So that was an ordinary throw. Got the fine lightning damage, the 19 because it wasn't enraged, and then the 6 from the damage, and then the 6 from the Tavern Brawler. Back to controller. Sorry, I need to play on controller. So right, that's all of our attacks out. Where's his other attack? Weird. Action surge. Throw. That's that one. Oh, of course I used one to start the combat, didn't I? Alright. Go back mouse and keyboard so we can get the damage numbers up. So that was on that one over there. So 22, 6 from the Tavern Brawler, 8 from the Tavern Brawler. And on the other guy, we rolled really low. 6 from the damage modifier, 2 from the pierce, rage. And 6 from the tavern, 6 because we didn't crit. That's why. I haven't got my elixir up. I'm doing this without elixirs, so this is just gear based, etc. No elixir. Normally I'd have the elixir of viciousness, which is an additional crit minus, so he crits pretty much every attack. You can see it down there. I just haven't drunk it. Right, so that's the build doing that. I shall return once I've respec'd house in exactly the same gear. I'm going to pick all the same stuff, but we're going to be in the new giant form one, so look out for that. Okay, so here we are again. I have just done a respec. I've done exactly the same gear, just taken giant, so it's exactly the same spec as last time. There you can see 5 barbarian but giant, 4 thief rogue, and then 3 in the Eldritch Knight to bound the lightning jabber to us. I need to do some more testing to see whether it's worth going to level 6 barb giant for the elemental thing and then bound the weapon that way. But then we lose out on the level 4 rogue, which is potentially losing out on a feat. So it's kind of like, right, so we'll do what we did last time. We are going to throw our lightning jabber at, we're going to throw it at Tuscan this time, I think. I can't remember who threw it at. Did we throw it at? No, we threw it at Sparks, so how about it?
You sought to fight, and now you have one.
Wait for initiative order, and we're slow again. Deck 16, and mind you, these are all rogues. There's the shield. From the Eldritch Knight class, we take shield and magic missile. Alright, so now we are going to Giant's Rage. We lose out on the prone, which is a bit, and we lose out on on the extra throw, I think, because yeah, see, this is why it doesn't really work as a giant, because you don't have the bonus action. You technically lose out on an attack. Alright, let's see if it's worth it then, shall we? Right, let's start on someone fresh.
Right away.
Alright, let's look at that damage. Switch into keyboard mode. Bring up the combat log. Plus. We do less damage. I think. Oh, I don't know. It's not an enraged throw, is it? Hold on, then let's get back. I hate the fact that why have they designed it? The combat log goes when you're on control. It sucks. Right, I can't do anything with my offhand action, so immediately we're losing damage there. We could do a boot with a giant, I suppose, but that kind of seemingly defeats the purpose. Wow, that was kind of cool. And now it's bugged. Hold on. There we go. So any problem with fighting in this little area, the view can get a bit skew-whiffed. We'll move away a little bit, and now we'll do our action surge, and then we'll do our throw again. We need to hit someone that hasn't been damaged, really. Can we throw it a tusk grunt? Yep. Now that crit. Okay, so let's have a look. Switch to keyboard mode so we can actually get the combat log up. Yeah, see, the damage just doesn't seem to be there on the attacks. It seems to be of way less damage. And of course, because you're not a Berserker, you lose out on that enraged throw, which is an extra attack effectively for a bonus action, plus prone. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it going giant for this particular build. The damage just doesn't seem to be there, and there's no bonus action other than the kick, which, to be honest, I don't use it for that. I want the thrown damage. I used this on a couple of boss fights in Act 3, and it does, so much damage. But this just doesn't seem to have the toolkit. Not compared to the Berserker. What puts me off is you don't have a bonus action throw attack. So yeah, I think we're going to be back to this build doesn't change. The stats just don't justify it. What I'll do at the end is I'll put the 2 combat logs to side by side so you can see all the damage as much as possible. I don't think I can get any more plussed lines on this. Yeah, see, that's maxed out. It's not enough, but yeah, I'll try and put them in a thing so you can see side by side. But I don't think it's worth it. So it seemed on paper to be a good build, but not for an actual throwing weapons build. Throwing improvised weapons, possibly, but for an actual throwing build, compared to the Berserker, where you've got that enraged throw. Because every turn, after the first turn, you use a bonus action to go enraged. After that, you're losing 2 attacks per round. Ranged attacks. I mean, yeah, you've got the boot, but when you go against bosses, that boot isn't going to kick them anywhere. You're just going to do 15 damage, which compared to an enraged throw, it's nothing. Alright, so there you go. That is level 12 balanced mode side-by-side comparison of the thrower build. And I'll link the person that this build inspired came from, for me. There's probably loads of people that have done a build like this, but the person that inspired me to min-max this build in a party of 4 people, so you could literally pick up the character with any other, set of characters. Because I find a lot of I'm going off on a tangent now. I find a lot of builds out there are like, get the killer's sweetheart. And you're like, okay, that's great. Oh, you've done another build. Let me have a look at that one. That's also got killer's sweetheart. What? It's like, it's got killer's sweetheart on all 4 characters. It's like, no. There's only 1. I want a team of 4. I can't have 4 killer sweethearts. So the builds I've put together form a set of team. So you can pretty much skill out every single character with gear and just pick them up and put them down as required without having to swap gear or anything. So, yeah. Anyway, I got on a tangent there. But yeah, that's the Berserker thrower. The thrower build, the barb thrower build, I should say. Giant seems to be pants. Berserker is better. I'm going to do some testing on the Drunken Monk. And that video will be out in the next few days after this one. So yeah, there's a get one. Stick around for some more BG3 content. I'll be starting a full BG3 post patch 8 playthrough in the next few days. Hopefully stay tuned for that. Thank you.